Welcome to Matrix Network's YouTube channel. Matrix Networks is an organization that specializes in delivering exceptional client experiences through innovative solutions made simple. We focus on WAN optimization, LAN infrastructure, and voice applications such as contact center and cloud-based phone systems. You are here today because you're probably a Mitel or a ShoreTel customer that's looking to evaluate the various ways that you could modernize your communication tools through cloud-based technology. In this webinar, we are highlighting RingCentral. Matrix Networks is one of the first Pacific Northwest premier partners of RingCentral, and we couldn't be prouder to have them showcase exactly what the solution looks like, what a migration path looks like. You're also going to hear from our client success team supervisor, Mr. Tim Lopez, as he walks you through the various tools that we use to migrate our clients from ShoreTel to RingCentral. Lastly, you're going to hear from two of our favorite clients who successfully made that migration. So if at the end of everything, there's a possibility that you would like to reach out and have a conversation about what your migration strategy is, we are more than happy to take that call and be your partner in the initiative. So thank you and enjoy the session. Cheers.
Good morning, all. My name is Matt Russell. I'm the Senior Territory Partner Manager here for RingCentral in the Northwest. With me today, I have Tim Ganun, Sales Engineer. Now, our names may sound familiar, and rightfully so, as both Tim and I spent upwards of 11 years at ShoreTel prior to ultimately ending up here at RingCentral for the past 3. So this announcement, this partnership between RingCentral and Mitel kind of came full circle for both Tim and I. And last November, the RingCentral and Mitel announced this strategic partnership to further enable or perhaps even facilitate this seamless transition to the cloud. Now, I want to alleviate some myths. All right. First and foremost, RingCentral did not purchase Mitel. All right. RingCentral purchased the exclusivity rights to be the go-forward strategy for transitioning premise-based customers over to the cloud. Now, this partnership also included CloudLink. It's an intellectual property of which Mitel has established. And that CloudLink it's really helping customers make this transition from Mitel Prem, Avaya Prem, Cisco Prem, NEC Prem, over to RingCentral. Now, Mitel Connect Cloud, or some of you maybe ShoreTel Sky or MyCloud Connect, that was announced end of life, and it was end of sale immediately upon this partnership. That was announced on November 11th last year, and I know that because I was on PTO as I take PTO every Veterans Day. Now, Mitel has not closed their doors either. They announced the MyCloud end of sale upon this partnership agreement, but they'll continue to focus in on their core UC solution. Mitel's core or go forward UC solution is the My Voice business platform. It's a completely separate platform for probably 95% of you on this call today. And that was the legacy ShoreTel platform that you're on. Whether you're on 14.2, the old good old trusted communicator, which I loved, or you're on Connect with the Mitel Connect app, those solutions are being tabled. Now, they haven't announced it publicly yet, but they're laying the tracks for something to happen here by just this partnership with RingCentral. Now, I feel like there's some key advantages and to what this partnership means to you existing customers. Furthermore, what's it mean to those of you that are premier partners of Matrix and Lantelligence? I really see 3 clear advantages. From an innovation standpoint, you have the freedom to move or migrate to the cloud now in a strategic manner. You can do so by being fiscally conscious because many of the endpoints or hardware that you have in place today will be able to be leveraged within the RingCentral environment. From a customer advantage, you'll have the peace of mind by leveraging the leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for the last 7+ years. That's 7 years in a row that we've been recognized within the Gartner Magic Quadrant as a leader.
Well, I think we may have
also going to be in place for those types of customers. It's going to enable your team. You'll have that flexibility for that in its own separate column here because I think it deserves it such, is Matrix Networks. Today, When you think ShoreTel or think Mitel, you're picking up the phone and you're calling Matrix or you're calling Land Intelligence. They're going to continue being that trusted advisor here as they've been with RingCentral for, since 2016. One of the first premier partners that we've had here at RingCentral in the Pacific Northwest. They'll continue to be your trusted advocate and advisor here. And another added advantage is concierge, in which Tim Lopez is going to take you through and talk to it, and along with a couple of existing RingCentral customers that made this jump as well. So now I put you in good hands here with Mr. Tim Ganun, as he's going to walk you through some of the end user experiences and what you're experiencing today with whether you're a Connect user, a communicator user, or maybe even a ShoreTel Sky user, and how we do it and accomplish it here at RingCentral with RingCentral's MVP, messaging, video, and phone application, as well as walk you through some of the administrative tasks, whether you're Director 2.0, as we used to refer to it at ShoreTel, and how we're taking you through our service web portal and showing you a variety of different things that we can do there and make it very seamless and simplified. So with that, Tim, over to you, sir.
And not to put any pressure on you, Tim, whatsoever, but 50% of the folks that are on the call today have come and are most excited about seeing the demonstration itself. So
yeah, I wondered about that. And well, some added pressure too is, as Matt had said, I keep searching the attendee list for names that I might recognize. I may have done demos for you all in the past, or met you at a tech mixer. But the biggest stressor that's on me is no one believes, I think Ryan's recording this because no one believes that I'm going to be able to do a demo in 18 minutes if you've ever worked with me before. So we're gonna give it a shot. So hey, thanks everybody for taking the time to meet with us here today. And yeah, I do want to show you some things in a really rapid fashion. So make sure and put some questions in the Q&A. We'll come back to everything that we can. But you all know how this works. There's just not enough time to show you all the features, bells and whistles, and not enough time to get really specific into your particular organization's needs. So by all means, schedule follow-up and we'll be able to do something very specific, curtailed to exactly what you're interested in hearing about. My goal today is to really hit on 5 things in rapid succession. And they are things that I understand or have known through the years to either be things that people loved about the Mitel solution, or things that maybe were really frustrating about the Mitel solution, and how RingCentral addresses those. So we'll do that quickly in the end user interface, and then we'll pop over into the management interface as well. My expectation is that a number of you have become very familiar with how to do moves, adds, and changes in the Mitel solution. So the first thing on my list of the Fab 5 is the promise and the expectation of mobility and the hybrid workforce. Talked about that a lot through the years at ShoreTel and Mitel, and it really has evolved. I want to show here just very quickly that we've got a full-featured and robust desktop application as well as progressive web app so that we can work for your users across all devices. So whether that is Mac or Windows, whether your iOS device, whether your Android device, any of those are going to be able to be used. And so if I pop around here a little bit, you'll see, I'm looking at my iOS device there, going into my profile, going to set a do not disturb there. It tracks really well over on the browser. So great feature parity there. It's all in there, right? So the best part, I think, at looking at the mobile application, so if you can look at the right-hand part of the screen here, as I move from messages to video to phone, all of these features are the same look and feel over on the desktop application. Even the granularity of being able to do some management from the mobile device, parking calls, viewing analytics, it's all there. Great feature parity. In the mobile application, or in the web application itself, I want to show something that people have just loved since the very dawn of time. I love how Matt Russell talked about the communicator client, right? And now we probably refer to the Connect client. We always love this quick search, right? So we've taken that a step further. Yes, you can absolutely search through all of your contacts, both personal and your company directory. But in addition to that, you're able to look into other media types. So if I do a quick search for Matt, I'm going to be able to see any conversation that included Matt or mentioned Matt in my messaging application, as well as SMS. So this is just simply a text message where somebody mentions Matt. But of course, if I've got Matt as a colleague of mine, I've got his ability to communicate with him right there. And he is over on my system, and so he's chatting me here. I appreciate that, Matt. See if I don't do any typos while I'm typing live here. This promise of a truly mobile or hybrid workforce, this expectation, the things that have changed since the pandemic, you know, it was where we thought we were going to be going years ago, and now it's truly come to fruition. So when you add in not only the ability to use all these devices, but then also very easy collaboration through messaging, we've got the ability to talk to our both not only internal contacts, but this extends out into the world, right? You can add anybody outside of the organization. Maybe you have a channel with your matrix colleagues. Maybe you have some third-party vendors of your own that you add into these conversations. They can be living right in the same interface and take advantage of the shelf over on the right-hand side so that you can go back quickly and easily and reference anything that you pinned or files that you shared. Our video conferencing is included in the standard package as well. And this has been a newer product for us. And in a year, we've released over 250 features. So a couple of things that I want to just briefly mention about the video conferencing is the ability to do webinars is on the docket. We have the ability to do very large, into the hundreds video conference participants in the video platform. And we've also introduced a number of AI and machine learning tools. So we can do transcription. We can do a quick summary of the meeting, so you don't have to go back and listen to an entire recording of a call. So very feature rich. And let's not overlook the phone interface, right? RingCentral has prided itself on being voice first. So a lot of those features that people have gotten very familiar with the Mitel solution, you're going to find in the RingCentral application, and I'm going to show you a couple of those. I do want to show some of the additional features that are in the application here, because we're going to talk about them when we mention our integrations as well. And that is the ability to take in, as I mentioned, text, so SMS and MMS. Again, that's going to be important when we talk about integration with Microsoft, and fax. It just isn't completely gone away, right? It still is used by a number of industries, a number of verticals, and so that's tightly integrated into this package as well. This is the, that promise of unified communications that we all jumped on board with some time ago, really, truly coming into fruition. Let's move on here and talk about integrations. This was something that we brought up with a Mitel solution quite often, right? People want to talk about maybe their CRM integration or some other third-party app. And it was always, great if you had something that was already built, or there was a developer out there who had worked on a solution, or maybe a third-party partner. But it was actually, very limited. And if you wanted something done custom, it was very difficult and costly to be able to do that. So with the RingCentral solution, you have just with a button click, the ability to look at this broad array of add-ins and apps that are able to be plugged into your RingCentral solution. And so even though I get really excited about the RingCentral app and the mobile app and the look and feel that I've just showed you, I want to make it very clear that if you have a user base that lives in a CRM and wants to be able to make and take calls there and not use the RingCentral application, by all means, that's going to be something that you're going to be able to do. Of course, we knock off those big names, Salesforce, NetSuite, Sugar CRM, on down the line. So just hundreds here of these applications. And we follow a path that we like to refer to as no code. It's an app, you click a button and you load it and you're good to go. low code, where it may take one line of code or one quick integration by either the good folks at Matrix or your internal team to make one of these integrations work, or by all means, you have access to what we call pro code, which is over 10,000 right now developers that have taken our absolutely open API set and built all sorts of wonderful tools. So this is just a snapshot of some of those things that are available off the shelf, but there's much, much more and a lot of integration. So you can, again, truly live in whatever application you see fit. So that's a good time to transition over to the management.
And as you do that, Tim, I just want to remind the audience, we do have some poll questions there that are talking to the capabilities of a phone system, what's most important to you. So it'd be great to get a sense of what really resonates with you and the audience.
Thank you, Ryan. As I said, I know a lot of you have worked in the past with your solution. You may rely on Matrix from everything soup to nuts, including implementation, ongoing support, moves, adds, and changes. But a lot of folks do like to be able to pop into a management interface and have some control. And I know in solutions in the past, that has been frustrating when you were used to having the ability to do that. And then with some cloud solutions, that was taken away and there wasn't as much access. So I want to show the service web, the administration portal of the RingCentral solution, so that you get a nice sense of, yes, you can actually come in and do those moves and adds and changes and take care of your system. Quick little tour here so you understand the layout a little bit. All of these items in the quick access are things that you would be able to find if you went deeper into the menus. But guess what? We put the top action steps right at the very beginning. So the things that are most common that you'd want to do are just going to be a couple of button clicks away. If you've gone to a training or you watch Matrix do something really fancy and some time has passed and you're not really sure how to do it any longer, you got tutorials right there at the bottom to be able to help and inform how it was that something was accomplished and how to get something done. Again, quick links over here to the app gallery and the developer portal, as well as service support and service status over there. But here's the activity in the administration portal that I want to show, and that is simply add a user. I mean, this was something that was a key cornerstone of the old ShoreTel and Mitel Connect demonstrations of the past. You can see here, we get prompted right away with the user type. If you've got some licensing already in the bank, you can simply add one of these MVP. Again, MVP stands for message, video, and phone. You can add them here or start from scratch and actually add a user into the system. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to use the Video Pro user, which is a free license. By the way, something that you can extend to your colleagues, your vendors or customers. I've seen the education market extend these free licenses out to students and parents, no charge. And it essentially, if you paid attention to a little part of the demonstration from earlier, it essentially would give that user the messaging, all that collaboration, and the video at no cost and no 45-minute limit on the web meetings that they can host. And they'd be a part of the system, right? Just like I'm about to add this particular user here. So forgive a little bit of time consumption here as we do some typing. But I'm just going to put in a fictitious user here. Let's see, Matrix Networks. And we can select a site. So multi-site support, like you're familiar with the Mitel solution, is going to be supported. Going to go ahead and assign this person out to Chicago. Very similar to Mitel, right? It's just going to assign the next extension in order. Again, if this was a standard user, I could pull DID and phone numbers as well. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to move on through here. Now, this is the spot at which we would say in the Mitel demonstration, okay, are we going to activate them right now? They have to actually log in the first time on the phone, or we can do it. Same thing here. I can send an invitation so that as soon as they accept activation, they would be live on the system. Or if I wanted to go ahead and plug in the password and the PIN and credentials, et cetera, then they would be immediately available in the system. So either way, it's very quick to have them live and fully set up with voicemail, unified communications, the whole deal, able to be managed. The last thing here is you can assign them the roles. So great template options, great roles for permissions, and that's easily able to be assigned at adding the user. Now, again, this can be done through Microsoft AD. This can be done through bulk upload. So lots of other options to get your system started, but that's one example of how you might change or add one particular user into the system. So that was my number 4 of the Fab 5. The 5th one that I want to mention is what we call call queues. So another thing that, again, I loved about the Mitel solution through the years was the workgroups capability. And a lot of folks have figured out creative and fantastic ways to take advantage of workgroups and what it can do for them. And oh, by the way, it was very cost effective. So another point in give favor. I want you to rest assured that we've got a really strong comparative solution. I've done this for years, right? There's always this give and take between I want something new and better, but I also don't want anything to change, right? So there is evolution, there is change. It's not exactly work groups, but let me walk you through the setup and really hone in on how easy it is to set up one of these call queues. And then we'll look at some of the settings as we do that so that you understand what might be similar. So again, I'm going to go add a call queue. I'm going to do it at just my main location. You get an extension number here. You're not limited to the 3 or the 4-digit extension that your user extensions might fall upon. You can go ahead and make it a single or 2-digit extension. And we're going to go ahead and call this one the sales team. And again, another little quick helper here is I can have it mimic another one that I've created. Let's say it's going to be pretty similar or 100% identical. We can go ahead and have it mimic, and that just saves a lot of time, right? So some of my basic settings are going to be just applied right over from another queue that I had. Now I'm simply going to select my managers of this call queue. And so we're just going to grab Don for that and put in a password, following proper security protocol, of course, and then select members. So just grab whoever we want to put into the into that call queue, select done, and it is live. So we've got a sales team queue able to be dialed within the organization. And let's see if I've got my particular user here. Let's see if we've got Gracie logged in. Bringing her over there, and whichever.
Thank you for calling sales team.
Whichever one of those groups that she's a member of, right? She's going to see that incoming call. You're going to have that nice identification of what the queue is and other information, and then be able to take action on that. Goes beyond what we're familiar with in the Mitel world in terms of quick and easy ability to see your agents, log them in and out. And one of the things that I love is as the agent here, I can not only make my extension call handling follow availability rules, but I can also turn on my queue calls on and off, as well as manage the queues that I'm in. So some granularity there that's added over the workgroups experience for those agents, the people that are in the call queue taking calls. So I am exactly at that moment that I had planned to end my part of the demonstration. And Matt, I'm going to stop my screen share so that you can bring up that last slide that we wanted to share with these folks. That made mention of the Microsoft integration here. So we've dropped a few little clues along the way, but for any of you, especially because of where we live, but this is across the country, a lot of folks are looking to supercharge their Microsoft Teams environment. We are completely happy to have co-opetition with Microsoft. And what I mean by that is we can supercharge what you love about Teams. If you want people to be in that application, we can have a native RingCentral phone capability right in that end user experience. Click the Teams call button and you're riding the RingCentral backbone. So that's our direct routing solution. We can add a nice little widget into Teams with our embedded dialer, and it goes on and on from there. Those are the two most common things that we find people are interested in. But of course, as I mentioned, you can deploy using AD, you can do single sign-on, you can use file share from OneDrive, just on and on and on. Great co-opetition is what I call it with Microsoft, and we'd love to help you supercharge that if Teams is something that's important to you. So let us show you that more specifically at a later time if you're interested. So that's it. I'm done. Matt, back to you.
Just really quickly sharing those poll results. That's very interesting that over half use it every day, all day, but absolutely none have a current integration with a true UC backbone.
Awesome. Hey, Tim, thank you very much for the fastest demo in the West. Really appreciate that, right on cue. So, you know, we've talked about the various benefits of making this migration to RingCentral or to the cloud in general and leveraging matrix networks in order to do so. There's some other types of incentives. And I noticed one of those poll questions, Ryan, one of the answers there was cost. And there's a lot of incentives out there, whether you are a cloud customer today, once again, a ShoreTel Sky, a MyCloud Connect customer. We have a variety of different incentives here for those types of customers. Many of which are waiving of early termination fees. We're offering up to 3 months free, and we'll call those transitional credits, so over to the MVP service as well. If you're currently leveraging 400 series devices, or maybe you even have some old Mitel 5300s, we want to make sure that we ensure to get you into a certified compatible device here at RingCentral as well. Now, I probably just opened up a can of worms there. Many of you do have those 400 devices, 400 series devices, the 480s, 485s. Those are on the docket to be fully certified with RingCentral. As of right now, it is not certified. We're looking at Q4 here in 2022 to have those certified. We're also offering special Mitel customer pricing and that access to free migration tools. For those of you on the prem side of the house, many of these same promotions obviously apply to you as well. Obviously, early termination fees are not something that we can generally cut off because you don't have those termination fees when this type of a contract. But we're offering those three free months, those service credits, as well as free phones, a certified RingCentral compatible device here with the RingCentral and Matrix team. So I want to hand it over here to Tim Lopez, the Client Success Supervisor over at Matrix. And Tim, I'm really excited to hear about our guests of honor as well, both of them. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Matt. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. Excellent. You should be seeing a screen that says Matrix Networks Concierge. Yes, as Matt said, I'm the Client Success Supervisor at Matrix, and I get the pleasure of managing our team of client success reps who help with consultative selling and help you walk through a purchasing process, but also we are a team of project managers, and we lead projects called Matrix Concierge. So I want to talk about what Matrix Concierge is. In short, it is deployment services to cloud phone systems. So whether you're prem to cloud or cloud to cloud, doesn't matter. We will help you with a service called Matrix Concierge make that shift. This service or a bundle of services really was built out of client need. So when we started doing cloud phone system migrations almost a full decade ago, our clients said they really liked this UCaaS product that is so cool and shiny and new, except for two things. One, the dependence on internet instead of a PRI that was not dependent on internet as its dial tone source. It led to occasional, sometimes frequent outages because every time the internet went down now, their phones would go down, and sometimes it wouldn't go down. They would just have performance issues, and that would affect their voice quality. And so we have, and then the second reason was implementation services from the vendors themselves were very immature and tend to be very poor and lead to just nightmares of implementations. So at Matrix, we have addressed the first concern with MCAS, Matrix Connectivity as a Service, which does internet optimization and really help build for your business bulletproof internet. So even if the internet goes down, your phones actually stay up. And then Matrix Concierge was the answer to implementation services from the vendors being a negative experience. We didn't like that it left a sour taste in our clients' mouth when they deployed, and we wanted it to be a positive experience from beginning to end. And so we dedicate a Matrix project manager and ProTech, sometimes additional resources like dedicated trainers, to every Matrix concierge project. And then we have a base of services, about 8 or 10 services that are included with a base package, and then offer kind of an ad hoc menu of optional services, another 12 or so services you get to choose from and kind of build your own implementation. We give you kind of a calculator and a description of those services. And then we let you choose from 2 different flavors, because not every deployment is the same, not every skill set and preference is the same on the customer side. And so we have full concierge, which is very white glove, and we do everything soup to nuts, very turnkey, including all the programming and all the testing, and we're often on site in those situations and doing all the training and all those things. And then there's guided, and guided is where we partner with you as an office manager or an IT director to program and test the system together. Now, there's still many things, based services that we do in terms of managing reporting, but sometimes guided is actually preferred, and not just because of lower cost. There's benefits in terms of you as the client getting to know the system better by the end. There's multiple admin training sessions instead of one, whereas full concierge might be, we hand you the keys at the end of your system and show you how it works. You've guided concierge, you're kind of helping build the car. And so that gives you more ownership by the end, and helps you kind of hit the ground running when you are the primary administrator on that system moving forward. Then we also have a whole host of contact center concierge add-ons available. So those are very key when you have maybe ECC today on your ShoreTel, or ShoreTel Sky contact center. And we can help whether it's contact center or no contact center. We are specialists in both and love helping with both. I want to talk just a little bit of why concierge. Couple of things I'll run through very quickly. We focus on quality over quantity. So our team of project managers each do maybe about a dozen concierge projects a year, and that is not a ton compared to what I heard was that the vendors, implementation advisors, they do literally hundreds of implementations in a single month, and that sounds like, whoa, they must be so experienced. However, that concerns me when I think about how important quality is over quantity, and so that is our emphasis, and we are okay with doing fewer as long as we provide an experience that is heads above what your alternatives are. We also offer a very wide breadth and variety of services. We're often on site for first day live. We're often doing on-site training courses. We're often helping with very niche types things like helping provision existing phones, or helping with an on-site paging integration, or something like that. Oftentimes you need very custom services like custom training videos or custom call flow diagrams, and those are all things that you can pick and choose from that ad hoc menu. And then you're partnering with an expert. How often do most IT directors or office managers manage phone number ports over the life of their career? I mean, there's going to be a few, but they're going to be few and far between. And that is a complex process. And we have managed ports every single month for decades at Matrix. That is an expertise of ours, and it is the one thing that could potentially have be what you expect to go wrong during a project, because there's so many unknown variables and so much complexity, especially if you're doing any sort of multi-carrier ports or international ports. And then concierge frees up your time, because a lot of the actual programming and little things about getting a system online and really dialed in, it's not incredibly technically complex. I mean, there's certain things we want to take on, like the porting. There's other things like why we can do guided concierge and have it be successful, is that most of your IT expertise is you're very capable of programming a cloud phone system. They're designed with simplicity in mind. And so a key benefit really is freeing up your time. You have so many other projects on your plate, allowing us to help you with this and do so much of the heavy lifting for you. One of the key benefits is freeing up your time to focus on the other things that you need to be doing and other strategic initiatives. And then it fits any budget with our model of choosing from a list of ad hoc services. If you don't want us on site, or if you want to handle training yourself, those are literally options. We don't force certain, all of those services on you, and then just to have a higher price tag. It really can fit any budget. So working with our client success reps allows for that. All right, I want to cover 3 things that I think will help you, regardless of whether you do concierge services or not, regardless of whether you even choose RingCentral or not. These are best practices in helping you prep for cloud phone migration. First is know your needs. What I mean by this is essentially, you should be starting with an internal research project. You must know the needs of your business inside and out, each department, each end user, each executive, each DID. Many times I've worked with customers who claim that they understand the needs of their own business, but in reality, we find that they don't, and that's when mistakes happen. And sometimes it's the fault of the IT person or the office manager leading the project, but not always. Sometimes it's not their fault, and that the typical end user or department head does not make it easy at all to get valuable information from them. Either way, when you go to implement and you miss the boat, you get a lot of people angry with you, and it looks like it's your fault, even if it might not be, because you're the one who helped design that call flow or made a decision on that particular permission level, or the customer service manager just hates the way a certain type of feature works and as it relates to their workflows. You might have excluded a DID from the port request that had sentimental value to the CEO or something like that. And all sorts of things can go on because we don't know our own needs, and we think we do, make assumptions. So one of the tools that we've helped develop I might recommend is using a phone system project survey for info gathering. So I'll pull this on my screen here. This is something that we've used and shared with clients in the past. It's really designed to be templatized, so you can change all of this, but it's really a short survey. It takes anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes. Maybe it can be shortened for sure. Where it kind of internally, you'd use this internally with your team to say, here, we're about to do a phone system project. I really want to hear your voice. I really want to take into consideration your preferences. So help me out here. What are your needs? Tell me about what phone you prefer to have. A lot of people are going soft phone only, but maybe people will feel nervous about that. Maybe they feel like they just need a mobile app. Maybe they feel like they need all of them. Help you get to know whether their headset actually is compatible with just their desk phone, but maybe if they want to go soft phone, they're going to need one that connects to the computer. Get to know their phone numbers and their department phone numbers, their direct fax numbers, and all those things. And you might think you know all of this already, and then you find there's tons of surprises. You ask about their software needs in terms of if they care about voicemail transcription or what. Once you actually send this out, you get the responses, and you can analyze it fully in Excel. This is more of just kind of a summary of responses, but you're going to find interesting information, especially when you get to the open-ended questions or these charts, where you can see here that it looks like the top priorities from people, according to just this sample data, is that they really care about voicemail transcription, SMS, and a mobile app. And that might have been different than what you were expecting, or may be right on, and then it's confirming or it affirms what you thought was true. But you get down here to these open-ended questions, you find out that people say, oh, I must have the ability to log in and log out of work groups. Okay, well then, great, that actually means RingCentral call queues are going to work great, and I'll have the additional ability to actually pick and choose which ones I log in and log out of, whereas you can't do that with work groups. It's kind of all in or all out. Finding out what people's biggest complaints are about the system. If they can't use it, work from home, that's a challenge of an on-prem Mitel system. So those are sorts of things that you're going to find. And this is something that that can be shared as a template. And so reach out to us if this is something that you might find helpful as a tool for you. And we'll be happy to share it if you, we have had customers use this and they were like, oh my goodness, I learned so much. Next thing is know your target solution. What I mean here is to use the info you gathered in your research project to thoroughly compare and contrast your options for a solution that meets the business's needs. The key word here is to be thorough. So don't be lazy here. Don't just compare costs, or sometimes a single feature or the way a single feature works makes all the difference between being the wrong solution versus the right solution in the benefit and the value it creates. So be sure to document carefully product differences, benefits, and otherwise. It allows you to set expectations with internal leadership on how you show that you've done your homework, that you've got your stuff together. It'll impress for sure and allow you to be confident in those presentations, and help you know that you've got the right solution. This is something that I love helping clients with. Our team does too. We've built massive spreadsheets that help do cost analysis, analysis of existing costs and ROIs, the value of cloud over prem, comparing one product to another product in charts, and looking at implementations and stats. Like contact center metrics, those can really help inform what your needs are and what products are going to meet those needs. So I see that as being a really helpful resource that we can help you with. And then know your project plan. So once you found the right solution, shift your attention to the right implementation strategy. So this choice in terms of how you implement will really, I think, make you or break you. Make or break the success of the project. It all means it may also make or break your reputation with bosses following the project. The time you spend project planning is absolutely worth its weight in gold. So be sure to clarify scopes of work in writing, outline tentative timelines, define success criteria in detail, all those sorts of things. We've built out our project plan, looks like a concierge implementation agreement. So it's kind of a 6-page PDF here that we'll walk through with you pre-purchase to help you feel good about the project, define all those sorts of things like how many numbers reporting and who's going to be on softphone and who's not. And often we make assumptions and don't document that well enough, and we just kind of hope it works out. This is where I was talking about, you have kind of a calculator for concierge services, adding those ad hoc things, an outline of guided versus full benefits of each, outlining which features you plan to implement, what integrations you plan to implement, whether paging is involved, some additional fine print on porting and network readiness. And then I love that we help you define 2 to 4 business objectives for the project, really the success criteria. What would make this project a success? And we bring those back up at the end, and we help make sure that we're targeting these are the most important things. It's not just about smooth deployment. Let's get a little more specific, and let's define what would make this a home run. Other types of documents could be relevant, like a scopes of work outline of who's doing what in all these different task categories, or a tentative timeline for your RingCentral migration. Those all can be really helpful documents that we could customize for you depending on your needs. And those are things that I think will help you know your project plan. All right, so that's what I wanted to cover for best practices in prepping for a cloud phone migration. I want to move over to what I think I saw the majority of from the poll results. The majority of people are looking forward to meeting customers who have made this migration and learning about their experience. So I'm going to stop share, and then I'm going to introduce a couple people that I really like. So Ben Anderson from Advantage Dental. He's a network analyst at Advantage Dental, based in Redmond, Oregon, is where Advantage Dental is based. Ben is based in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So welcome, Ben. And then also I'm going to welcome Scott Logan, head of IT from Coosa Pines Federal Credit Union from Childersburg, Alabama. And over the last few years, both of these guys have deployed RingCentral coming from a ShoreTel Mitel solution. And I want to just ask them some questions about their experience and let you guys glean insights from it. So I'll start with you, Ben. Why was it time to move on from the Mitel for Advantage Dental? Like, what kind of limitations were you experiencing?
Yeah, the initial impetus was multi-pronged. We had physical appliances that were core components of our solution that were reaching end of life and support. We had Windows services that supported this ShoreTel solution, which needed to be upgraded, and there was difficulties in maintaining our security posture with these Windows servers and doing that without disrupting the ShoreTel solution. And there was also just the nature of turnover in our organization, where the old guard, which had implemented and come up with creative duct tape and baling wire solutions, had moved on to other jobs or opportunities, and we were left picking up the pieces and becoming subject matter experts in these solutions, but it was time consuming and complex.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I don't know how many of us, if we could raise our hands and say, I have a duct taped phone system too. That would be true. We always come up with workarounds when we have those challenges, and that's that can create even more pain sometimes in the long run. Scott, why did you feel a change was necessary for Coosa Pines from the Mitel? What challenges were you having?
So our ShoreTel system cut over to RingCentral largely was a result of our initial implementation being rough. It happened when Mitel had actually just bought ShoreTel, and there were staffing changes, and our system never really quite worked the way we wanted it to. We always had reliability issues. It was a bear to manage with just a 2 or 3 person IT team, depending on the time frame you're looking at. So we started looking for something that wouldn't take us logging into it every day to figure out what's causing this issue, who needs this change made in 3 different places. Because when you're working with a small 2 or 3 person team, you've got to touch on everything, and you don't have time to just specialize to keep a older phone system up and running.
Mm-hmm. Yep, makes a lot of sense. Hey, Ben, when you think back to your evaluation period, when you were trying to pick what to go with to replace Mitel, why did you end up choosing RingCentral?
Well, a big component was leadership, and in particular, my boss was very focused on a cloud-based VoIP solution. They had some experience in the field in a previous job. They saw the needs and the sort of complexities of what we were dealing with our duct tape solution, and they were able to convince their boss that an investment in a cloud-based platform is going to be worth it going forward. And they were able to secure the budget for us to go out and choose from the available solutions. So the fact that RingCentral was a leader in cloud telephony was a big selling point, and we were able to sell that to our leadership. And that's kind of how we arrived at RingCentral, with also collaborating with you and Matrix team and listening to your recommendations as well.
Awesome. Now, you paired your RingCentral deployment with Matrix Concierge Services. Can you speak a little bit about what stood out to you about your experience with Matrix Concierge?
Yeah, I personally found, because I'm the subject matter expert for ShoreTel and currently the kind of lead administrator internally for RingCentral, I found that the collaboration with yourself, with Matt, with Jason, other various Matrix team members was really productive. It was a good team that got things done in an effective way. Communication was clear. I didn't feel like we were surprised by any aspect of the project, and I thought that everything was sort of level set from the beginning. And I thought the project management was on point. I've dealt with project managers all over the board, and some are better than others. And I thought your guys' project management was excellent.
Thank you, Ben. It's good to hear. Scott, what was your implementation experience like with RingCentral and Matrix Concierge?
It was among the smoother projects I've been involved in. I mean, you guys kept me on task when I would get distracted every once in a while, because there was occasions where everything was going wrong at once. You guys made sure I was aware of what needed to be done on my end at any point in time. You handled your end of everything perfectly on time at each stage of it. Financial sector stuff especially for credit unions dealing with companies like Fiserv, project management can get rough. You've got 3 different people and 5 different compliance departments making sure you're not accidentally exposing things. But honestly, there's nothing negative I have to say about it. It was, again, by far one of the smoothest projects I've been involved in.
That's great to hear, Scott. Awesome. Ben, talk about your the benefits to the company of being on the RingCentral platform. How is Advantage Dental benefit end users or admins or whatever?
The one that sticks to my mind because it's taking up the most time and energy is we're about to make a major move in terms of our physical footprint and our entire IT infrastructure into new data center sites. And so getting the monkey off of our back of migrating the physical appliances, accepting SIP trunks at these new data centers, all of that. Now that doesn't have a lot to do specifically with RingCentral, but it does mean that we can retire the ShoreTel system and already be on a cloud telephony product and not even worry about that when we're making such big moves in terms of core infrastructure. The things that stand out more specifically about the RingCentral benefits are I've observed a generalized improved call quality. We have a better support posture internally, so we have better ticket resolution times, less digging into those duct tape and baling wire solutions to try to solve a basic support ticket. And the management's improved. We're new employee termination, group and role management, call queue management, all of that is quicker because the interface has been simplified. And we can give more and more responsibilities to our support desk and help desk staff to be more responsible, where before the subject matter expert had to make almost all changes.
I like it. Scott, how has the RingCentral platform compared to the old ShoreTel Mitel?
It's been better in pretty much every way. I mean, it used to be when somebody called in and they were having some kind of trouble getting a hold of us, they were stuck and it was ringing longer than it should have, or there was a call quality issue. It took decent amount of investigating to get to the bottom of what was going on. Now I can just pull up the call log, pull up the analytics to show quality of service, and it's right there. Day-to-day management, if I need to add a user, it's one series of menus and we're done. I've managed to actually teach some of the compliance team members how to do some of the call log pulling and a few other day-to-day functions that they may need, and gotten that offloaded from the IT end of things, which is always great when you can teach a different user in a different department how to handle something because it's simple enough for them to touch.
That's great. Love it. Thanks, Scott. Same question for both of you. Final question, any piece of advice for a Mitel administrator looking to make a shift?
I would say that getting on the same page with all of the business units and both understanding the current pain points and then the kind of opportunities the new platform provides to improve workflows and or target particularly time-consuming byproducts of the duct tape and baling wire solutions. Smoothing those things out requires getting into those workflows with your users and understanding them so you can make suggestions to things that maybe don't obviously pop during training or communication, or things that maybe they didn't even imagine could be possible based on their previous experience. So I think just getting in there with your users and really communicating with them directly and understanding them is the most important piece.
Excellent. I like it. Scott, same question to you. What would you say?
I would say review not just your phone system, but other things that the new system can do that your old one can't. We went from 4 to 6 vendors to do what we can do with RingCentral with one vendor that we have to keep track of for compliance. We had SMS messaging through one vendor. We had some eFax accounts for some outgoing fax, even though we did use ShoreTel for incoming. We had our own in-house chat client because the ShoreTel client was not functioning the way we needed it to. We managed to ditch all of that, but if we were just looking at the phones, it wouldn't have been as viable to argue to the board, because when you add in those other costs that we're cutting, it's a lot easier. to convince them that, hey, we might actually make the money back in savings in 6 years if we just go ahead and do it now.
Wow, that's really cool. It's fascinating how transformative the RingCentral was for your business, even more than I even realized. That's really cool. Awesome. Thank you both so very much. I know that your insights are valuable to all the rest of the businesses on this call and customers on this call. So thank you so much. Back to you, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't thank you guys enough for being a part of this presentation. Really appreciate it. It's always valuable to hear from your peers with regards to their experiences. Before we get to selecting our big winner, I do want to highlight some internal promotions that we have going on here at Matrix. You know, we did cover RingCentral promotions, but you know, this is important to us as well. So we want to incentivize our clients and hopefully future clients to do so as well by taking advantage of these two promotions that we have available. All clients migrating from Mitel and ShoreTel, either cloud or prem, to RingCentral will receive our Matrix Network's full guided concierge service at the cost of our standard package. That's a huge savings, especially if you have a lot of end users, and I hope we've shown the value in that full guided concierge. Regardless, there's a lot of value built into the processes that we put in place, but full guided concierge service at the cost of our standard package. And if a 3-year agreement is signed, we will do the entire concierge deployment at no cost to you. So some really great really great promotions to take advantage of. These are if completed or accomplished or signed off on through the end of the quarter. So hopefully we have some clients on the call that take advantage of that promotion. All right, so who is going to win a gift card to Airbnb, $500? I got everybody on the call here ready to go, and we'll spin in 3, 2, 1.